Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Solidarity. I'm going to have to remember to look over here now. The Solidarity Lowell November meeting. Give me 1 second while I make that thing go away. Okay. Apologies for any technical difficulties. This whole Zoom cart setup, which we usually love so much, was changed and upgraded, and has been a huge pain for the past hour. All right, but all is good. Moving on. Okay, so just so you know, well, it was just announced, the meeting is being recorded and will be put on YouTube. By staying in this meeting, you consent to both. Our timekeeper is Chris Offerman. Please be mindful of time limits. To speak, please use the raise hand function in Zoom or type a star into the chat and wait to be called on. Our stacker is Joe Boyle. Captions are available. Our normal rules, step up, step back, which means if you haven't been talking, please step up and speak. We want to hear from everybody. And if you've been talking too much, please step back, make space for other people. Assume positive intentions. And if your words do cause hurt, be accountable. So whoever is hurt can say ouch. And the person who said whatever it is can say oops. And you can either discuss it or sidebar it till after the meeting. And this is my reminder. Please speak slowly. I'm very bad at that. Okay, so we'll start with our land acknowledgement and introductions, then talk about Solidarity Lowell news and committee updates, allied organizations updates. So if you're here to promote another group, please do so then. Our featured speaker, Tom Raiche, lead organizer from Merrimack Valley Central Labor Council, and we'll wrap up around 6:55. All right.
Relax.
I know, sorry.
Just your friends. You're among friends.
Okay, so let's go over to our land acknowledgement. All right, trying to talk slowly. We must acknowledge that the land in Lowell is that of the Pennacook. However, acknowledging the Pennacook as sovereign of this land is complex. After rampant colonization carried out through genocide, biological warfare, slavery, and other inhumane methods, the Pennacook were no longer present in Lowell by the beginning of the 18th century. This in no way means that there is no longer any Native American presence in Lowell. Local indigenous people will refer to themselves as Pawtucket, Abenaki, Wamasett, or even Pennacook, indicating the long and intricate history of this place. The current Native American population here is a testament to the resilience of the indigenous people, as well as their venerated connection to the land. Only when we acknowledge this land and its history properly are we able to understand how to recover from an unjust past. This is why we begin with this statement. Please educate yourselves further on the indigenous presence and contributions to Lowell or wherever you consider your home. We are living on land that was stolen, and by educating ourselves and connecting with our local indigenous groups and organizations, we together can work on creating a more equitable community that works for all. Okay. So what is Solidarity Lowell? We are a volunteer group of Greater Lowell community members working towards social justice by defending the rights, dignity, and equality of all against hate and discrimination. We are a chapter of Progressive Mass and a Merrimack Valley Project affiliate. The coordinating committee is your elected team running meetings, organizing events, disseminating relevant news, and sharing calls to action. Coordinating committee elections are held every April. If you're interested in joining, email contact@solidaritylowell.com or just contact any of us on the coordinating committee. Okay, so we'll do
5 chats.
Amy is watching the chats. All right, so we'll start with introductions. So I will call on you. Please say your name, your pronouns, where you live, and what was your favorite cartoon growing up. My name is Marissa DuPont. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I live in South Lowell, and my favorite cartoon was Alvin and the Chipmunks. I may or may not have thought that I was Alvin for quite a while. Amy, over to you.
Amy Baranowski, she, her pronouns. I live in the Acre. And when I was very little, the first cartoon I remember loving was Mighty Mouse.
Was what?
Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse.
Yes,
oh,
yes.
Gosh.
Joe.
Okay. Joseph Boyle, he, him, Solidarity Lowell Coordinating Committee. I live in the Upper Highlands, and the first favorite cartoon I can remember having was the superhero cartoon Shazam. I had Shazam underoos back in the mid-70s.
Tom.
Hi, my name is Tom Raiche. He, him. I'm with the Merrimack Valley Central Labor Council. I live in Draycott, right down the street. And my favorite cartoon to this day is still Bullwinkle.
Sean.
Sean McDonough, he, him. I live on Market Street in downtown. And favorite cartoon. Hey Arnold.
Oh, wow.
Chris.
Best Afferman, she, hers. Also live in downtown on Market Street. Favorite cartoons? We didn't really have too many of those. I think we had either Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck. So I'll take Donald Duck.
Interesting. It's a controversial choice. Paul.
Paul Gaudette, he, him. I live in the Highlands. My favorite cartoon growing up was Bugs Bunny.
It's more controversial.
All right, Srayvan.
Hello everyone, my name is Rayvan, CEO her pronoun Bike Central. I'm not like really like cartoon, but I used to watch with both my kids the big red dog Clifford.
Oh, that's a good one. Mitch. Mitch, are you
Hi,
there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just unmuting myself. Hi,
Yep.
Mitch Pollan. I live in the Acre. He, him. My favorite cartoons growing up. My first one was 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Nice. John Grossman.
John Grossman, he, him. I apologize for not being there in person. I wanted to come, especially with Tom, with you speaking, but I'm not feeling well, so you should be glad I'm not there. My favorite, I live in Lowell, and my favorite cartoon was Rocky and Bullwinkle.
See?
Great.
Yeah, that's a
Uh,
good one.
next, Rebecca. You're muted, Rebecca.
I always do that. Okay. Yeah. Rebecca Miskell, she, her. I live in downtown Lowell on Jackson Street. And my favorite cartoon growing up probably would be Amy's, which is Mighty Mouse. And although Rocky and Bullwinkle were always on Saturday mornings at our house. So that's it.
Thank you. Marla. Oh, she
She
posted.
doesn't.
She doesn't have a microphone. She said Mighty Mouse.
Didn't have a favorite.
Oh no, she said Belvedere didn't really have a favorite, but I'll say Josie and the Pussycats. Yes, that's a good choice. Okay, I think that's everybody. Oh, Ryan, we didn't get Ryan. You just ignore that because Amy's on it.
Okay.
This isn't a
Got it.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Ryan.
It took me a second to get the unmute button on this phone. My name is Ryan Hammond. My pronouns are he, him. I live in the Acre. I'm on the Solidarity Lowell Coordinating Committee. And my favorite cartoons growing up were the Looney Tunes cartoons. And in particular, I loved the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote segments, particularly before the coyote could talk. I thought it was better that way. And I can't wait to see Coyote versus Acme because the very premise is absurd enough that it appeals to me.
Okay, so onward, we'll talk about our victories. So we'd like to congratulate Vesna Noon for City Council at Large, Belinda Duran as of Friday for City Council in District 3, Sydney Liang for City Council District 7, Connie Martin for School Committee at Large, and Sean, since he's here, congratulations.
Thank you.
And we also thank Wayne Janas for running again for City Council in District 4 and Marcos Candido for City Council in District 8. We really hope he runs again. And congratulations. And thank you to everyone who ran. All right, so positive news. The Hive Public Market opened in November. And in response to a public pushback, the Mass House decided to take up a contentious energy policy, this is worded weird, energy policy bill that would weaken the state's 2030 climate mandate, punting a major debate until after the legislators' extended holiday break that begins this Thursday. Yeah, it's a little confusing how that was said, but there was they put a terrible bill forward that would have set us back climate wise, and thankfully they voted to send it to committee, but it'll come back up
Right,
after.
John Grossman decided
Yeah.
not to take up.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
John Grossman's correction.
Yes.
That's what it should say.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I know, it's weird. I should have fixed that. All right, Massachusetts Senate voted 35-3 to combat politically motivated book banning in, I should say, early November. In early November, a Utah judge struck down a GOP attempted gerrymander and restored the voter-approved map. The gentleman who threw a sandwich at a federal officer in Washington, D.C. was found not guilty. He's a true hero. UAW Region, I would have done it. UAW Region 9A, one of America's largest unions, endorsed the Massachusetts stipend reform ballot question to end loyalty pay in the Massachusetts legislature. Who else has anything positive that they'd like to share?
I'll report on MVP's mic, I think,
Yes.
when it comes time to update.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll wait for that. No other positive news. I guess we covered. Okay, so just a quick plug for our Lowell Activists Unite Discord server. It's a community space for activists here in Lowell. Discord is a free text, voice, and video application, very similar to Slack if you've used that in the past. It's just a discussion board system, and it's a way for activists to know what's going on without relying on the whims of social media algorithms. We have channels for topics of increasing concern, and we are adding channels for each group and organization by request. You can join as an individual or as the leader or member of a group. And there's the link. Those links are a pain. So if you don't get to it for a couple of days and it doesn't work, just email contact@solidaritylowell.com. We'll get you a good link. All right. Our Solidarity Lowell holiday party is coming up on Saturday, December 13th from 3 to 8. You can RSVP and sign up for the potluck at the bit.ly on the screen. And in addition to the potluck, we're collecting items for the unhoused population, including non-perishable food, blankets, coats, socks, and hand warmers, or anything else that the unhoused can use, which is, everything. So yeah, that's at my house. Please RSVP and you'll get the address. Okay, Ryan Oates is not on, but we'll talk about this. So we are heading into the election season never ends. We got a whole week and a half. So a special election for state senate is coming up. The primary for the first Middlesex seat is on February 3rd, 2026. So it's not even the end of February, it's the beginning of February. And we have the holidays in between. So it's going to be complicated and they need a lot of help. There are two candidates right now. Rodney Elliott, former city councilor, current state representative for the 16th Middlesex in Pawtucketville, that area. And Vanna Howard, current state representative for 17th Middlesex. And we're interviewing candidates before making an endorsement, obviously. So Lowell Together will be meeting to finalize our endorsement questionnaire on Monday, December 1st. 6 p.m. at CMAA. You're all invited to join us. We want everybody's input. That's what Lowell Together is all about. And if you'd like to get involved, you can also email contact@solidaritylowell.com if you can't make it. So yeah, did anyone want to talk about the special election? We were having a little bit of a discussion beforehand.
Are there other candidates that have?
Yes.
So far?
Yes. So in the state senate race, I don't know, there must be, I think there's usually that one Republican who's basically just a MAGA hat with a sign.
No, we have Sam Mees this time.
Oh,
He's not a Republican yet.
Right. Not yet,
No,
but very close.
He's not a Republican yet, but he might be a Republican.
Probably.
But he might not get his Republican signature.
Oh.
It's convoluted because if he wants to run as a Republican,
Yeah.
he needs to win a write-in campaign. He needs 300 people to vote for him in the Republican primary as a write-in candidate. Otherwise, he'll just be unenrolled. I don't know. It's a mess. I don't even know who Sam Mees is. It just seems very simple.
So we know, Joe, you know of Sam Mees?
I do.
Sam Mees. Hey guys. Sam Mees was I'm familiar with him because I've worked with him on campaigns before. mean, the paperwork he's filed so far is to run in the Democratic primary, despite the
Oh.
fact that he's a Republican activist. And until like last week, he was registered to vote in Lawrence.
Yeah, it was a
Okay.
mess. I got lost in how messy it was.
Oh my God.
I know.
So yeah, he apparently changed his voting address to Lowell and his party to Democratic last week.
Okay. That really showed
So
commitment.
yeah,
Okay. Joe, were you going to say something?
Yes, Sam Mees was last seen running in the 18th Middlesex primary when Rick DeYoung was challenging Ratty Mom as a spoiler candidate to tip the election in the direction of Ratty Mom.
Okay. Good times. So he was one of those.
yeah. His most recent activity, he was RATM's campaign treasurer for the last 2 cycles.
That's what I'd be a big fan.
So
What about the candidate from the Middlesex Community College? What's his name called?
Oh yes, he Barrett Boy, and apparently he
he dropped out.
and he has dropped out. Yeah.
He's not running.
I'll fill you in when we're not on the record.
Yes, there's much smack that can be talked about the way. All right. So yeah, so needless to say, we have a fan favorite here, and we will do our best to make a very unbiased decision and work on our questionnaire coming up on December 1st. Please join us. Okay, so Amy, do you want to do?
Oh, sure. So, yeah, Mill City Messaging is the name of Solidarity Lowell's monthly postcarding group. There is nothing local going on this month. So it's the second Thursday of every month. So the next meeting will be Thursday, December 11th, 6 to 8 p.m. at our friends Lala Books over on Market Street downtown. There's nothing local going on this month, so we are going to write for an important special election in Tennessee, the 7th Congressional District. They're having a special election on December 2nd. So we are going to help them out.
What about the dates? You're meeting on the 11th and the election is on the 2nd.
Right.
Oops. There must be some other opportunity.
Right. I think Sheila said that the last batch was sent out with the last ones for that election.
Oh, did I?
Oh, so maybe we've just forgot to delete that from the slide. It's okay.
Okay. Sorry. Well, hey, there's
We'll have
nothing
something
local. My point being, there's nothing local going on, so we will be doing something national.
Okay. Show up and we'll
And then hopefully, by the following month, we'll have something for the local Senate going on, but we'll see. Yeah, please join us. And if you have any questions, Amy at Solidarity Lowell.
Great. Okay, so just a plug. Ozo couldn't be here tonight, so I'll take care of this one. Please help the residents of LTLC. They are forming, they're not calling it a union, but a tenant group, rights tenant group, with all of the folks in the rooming section of the Lowell Transitional Living Center, which, if you're not familiar, is our local homeless shelter. And they are in dire need of financial assistance. Right now, the building is not being cleaned as much as it should. It's gross. They're supposed to clean the bathrooms daily. They don't. They're supposed to do, I don't know, a whole bunch of other things. I think they finally fixed the heat in the bathrooms, because at one point there was no heat in the bathrooms, which, like, you can only imagine trying to shower when it's 30 degrees. Like, that's not fun. So yeah, any financial assistance that you can give would be greatly appreciated. And obviously they also need help with food, but financial assistance is the most important right now. So you can donate via Venmo at OZZO77, or you can email Ozo at inozartz@gmail.com, or however you pronounce that. But yeah, they need all the help they can get. Okay, Caroline said she was gonna be here.
Linda was not introduced either.
Caroline is on
Marissa, I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Thank you.
All right. Hi, everybody. I can put my video on real quick. Yep. Okay. So I am the co-chair of the local action team for the RISE Coalition. The RISE Coalition stands for Refugees and Immigrants Support and Empowerment Coalition. The empowerment is super, super important. We do all on the ground work with both immigrants, refugees, and direct service providers. So we are still and always will be collecting cash and market basket gift cards for families in need. And I say always because the majority of the families that we work with in this sphere do not qualify for SNAP or other public assistance benefits. And we have been told with the latest SNAP snafu, let's say, there's a lot more reasons to deny somebody SNAP. And so even if they're in the middle of applying, they're less likely to get it now, immigrants and refugees. So that is why money is, the money collection is super important. I'll put my Venmo in the chat. I am collecting on behalf of myself. So if you want to Venmo, that's fine. Just put RISE in the memo. And also, there's always a vigil at the ICE field office in Burlington every Wednesday, 11 to 1. I have been told it will keep going even when there is snow. So if you are an outdoor person and an outdoor vigil person, this is a great place to go. It is nonpartisan, non-denominational, inclusive of everybody, just focused on supporting the folks who go in and out. And as of right now, knock on wood, there have been no obnoxious or uncomfortable interactions with anyone. So safety-wise, it's a pretty low risk right now. So thank you.
Thanks, Caroline. And as usual, if you see ICE in your community, please call the LOSE hotline, 617-370-5023. This is if you see anybody that you suspect is ICE, but you're not sure, call them, let them know, and they'll send verifiers out to find out if it was ICE and let the community know if it is.
If you're sure, call them.
Yeah, even if you're sure, if you're not sure, whatever, call them. Okay, so quick upcoming events. City of Lights Festival is on Saturday. Various things start at various times, so just look up the schedule online. Our holiday part. I almost said the Holidarity. That's the Solidarity Lowell holiday party is on the 13th. Special election primary is February 3rd. Special election general is March 3rd, 2026. Please mark your calendars. All right, and now we'll get to allied group updates and announcements. This is where if you are a part of any other group and you want to share what's going on, please raise your hand. Paul, I know you wanted to, yes.
Yes, so we had our MICA Awards celebration on the 9th of November, and Joe was our honoree from Solidarity Lowell. Congratulations to Joe. He was the first one featured in the list here. It was outrageously successful. We had to stop selling tickets because there was no more room in the hall. It was 160 tickets.
It's a good problem to have.
We surpassed our fundraising goals. We raised almost $26,000 over the ad book, ticket sales, donations. And as we were leaving, Julio and I were both approached by several people who gave us contribution envelopes. And it was over 30 of these envelopes. Some of them were substantial additional contributions. So again, congratulations to everybody who's there. My pitch for tonight is that if you look in this book on page 4 or so, it lists the member organizations of our 3 chapters, and our Lowell chapter needs more members. And we go on a calendar year. We've reduced our dues structure so that any organization, local union, faith group, community organization can join for a flat fee of $200 and be part of the list. I won't read them all here, but those who have a copy here can see what wonderful company you'll be joining to become an official member.
Including Solidarity Lowell.
Solidarity Lowell is right here. Yes.
All right. Any other updates?
I can just mention that for Indivisible, I'm not like running Indivisible or anything. I'm just on the steering committee. But we're working right now on focusing on economic non-cooperation. So that's an opportunity to, with the holidays and, you know, a lot of kind of typically buying. So kind of looking at and thinking about buying in the community and not cooperating or not purchasing from Amazon and even Spotify, which has ICE ads on it. And so just you can go to the website too, or the Facebook page to get more information. But the focus for the past, few weeks has been on that and mutual aid.
Great. Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
John, then Caroline.
You're on mute, John. Okay.
Couple things. First of all, on Tuesday, there are important hearings at the State House about two important immigration rights bills. One of them is the Safe Communities Act, which we've discussed before here. The other is a bill to provide attorneys for defendants. And there's going to be, that's Tuesday morning. There'll be a rally at 9 a.m. before the two separate hearings, but they're on the same day before they start. Second thing is, with regards to 350 Mass, for which I volunteer, which is a climate justice group, as Marissa mentioned earlier, there was this sudden rush to pass a bill to relax Massachusetts climate commitments in the name of affordability, which A, would not be a good idea regardless, and B, does not actually promote affordability nearly as much as stopping using methane gas, natural gas would, and other things like that. Anyway, it was beaten back. The leadership was supporting it, then the leadership was not supporting it. That doesn't happen every day of the week. So for all of you who made phone calls or reached out, that really was a victory. It'll come back. The issue will come back, and we'll have to go back at it again. But everybody I've talked to about this feels like it was a strong step forward to stop that. On the downside, a bill that we've promoted a lot, which is called Make Polluters Pay, the Senate killed the Senate version, didn't make it out of committee. The House version is still alive, and so the bill is still alive, and we would encourage everybody to reach out to your reps. The 3 Lowell reps have co-sponsored the bill, but I think we all know that co-sponsoring a bill is one thing and actively pushing forward is another. And I'm not saying they're not, but I'm saying that it won't hurt them to know that people they count on for support that bill, the Make Polluters Pay bill. If you'd like more information, you can reach out to me. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Caroline?
Hi, everybody. Super quick. I put information in the chat. So Lowell Votes, which is a nonpartisan civic engagement coalition, is meeting on Tuesday, December 9th to meet the future of civic engagement. It is open to anybody. So it is just a brainstorming on what civic engagement looks like or can look like in the future for Lowell and how to get people involved in civic engagement every day. It's not just going to the polls. So if you can come, great. If not, just email me and I will bring your thoughts with you. Location is to be determined, but most likely it'll be CBA or CMAA. Again, if you want an update on the location, just email me. Thanks all.
Thanks, Peter.
1 o'clock in the afternoon, Tuesday.
Okay.
Good night.
Mitch?
Yeah, so we had our Lowell Democrats had our last regular meeting of the year last week. We are going to have a holiday party, I believe, sometime in December. The next regular meeting is going to be in February. I'll note that we're going into a midterm year, so that means that there's going to be a reorganization meeting in April, and we also are going to have our caucus in either late February or early March to elect delegates to the state convention. And because this is a state election year, there's going to be a number of people who are going to have to qualify for the primary ballot at the convention. It's an important opportunity. So this is a good time now, to take a look at, getting ready to participate next year.
Great, thank you. Joe.
So Amy and I went to the Progressive Mass Leadership Retreat last weekend. I wanted to pass on what Jonathan Cohn had to say about Progressive Mass's legislative priorities. Their top one was the defeat of the bill that was just defeated.
Yes.
But as John said, it's likely to keep coming back up in different forms. The Healy administration had filed a bill that addressed some similar things, was not nearly as bad, and their position on it was they wanted to defeat this bill and make a rewrite of the Maura Healy bill the vehicle for this legislation. Other priorities were opposition to the top two style primary. There's a proposal to change Massachusetts primaries rather than having party primaries to switch to, like they have in California, a system where an all-party primary where the top two can advance. And the problem with that is that in a state like ours with a very strong lead, there are liable to be several liberal progressive candidates and a smaller number of conservative right-wing candidates. And the way that structure is set up, you could end up with two more conservative candidates getting 23 and 21% in a highly divided field, and being the top two that advance onto the general election. So that was another top priority of theirs. Amy, help me remember. They actually had something they were in favor of. Oh, the corporate fair share tax. Just as last year or a couple of years ago by ballot initiative, the state passed the fair share tax, the millionaires tax on incomes above $1 million. Now there is a proposal, and I don't know all of the details, but it is about, I believe it's offshore money. Yes. And it's not even, and it's not some wacky out there tax law. New Hampshire has this, and I believe it already exists at the federal level. And Massachusetts is kind of an outlier in not having this, and its adoption could be a significant fiscal benefit. Yeah. Is there any others they wanted to highlight?
Did all the millionaires move out of Massachusetts?
No.
I've been hearing a lot about that.
I know, we're really worried.
There are more millionaires in Massachusetts now than before the bill was passed.
Right.
Owing to the increases in people's property values, there are now more millionaires in Massachusetts.
Tell that to Teddy Panos.
Yeah.
Teddy, if you're watching.
I believe the other one that sticks out in my mind as a progressive mass legislative priority was the bill to reform and modernize sex education. Like I said, it hasn't been that. It's about the school frameworks, schools educational frameworks. The ones for health and sex ed haven't been updated since the 90s. And so this would, bring them into the modern era. Awesome. Do you remember any others, Amy? No, I think those were. Those were their top few.
I try to include the priority, whatever John puts in his newsletters. I try to echo in our newsletter. So,
and it's kind of nice to have already walked one out.
Yeah,
that's their top priority.
Yeah. So my question was, did that sync the unitary primary idea? Did that Progressive Mass is voting against it or shooting it down?
Yes, Progressive Mass is strongly against it, and its advocates, Progressive Mass, as you recall, is a strong supporter of ranked choice voting proposals. This is being sold by its proponents as a step towards ranked choice voting. It is not a step towards ranked choice voting.
See, I got emails about that. I got confused.
Yes. Yes.
Could be
Right.
Yeah.
If there's no
Yes.
ranking, then
No,
Right.
right.
yeah,
That's right. So be
it could
careful.
be if you put the numbers next to it, but if it's just a vote, then it's
And it's a ballot, and it's a ballot initiative, so it's not even like we can count on our state reps in their close reading to come across this. This is something that we might have to do public messaging about.
Education campaign.
it's gonna be a big ballot.
Yeah, something like 10 questions can make it's gonna be enormous.
This year's going to be insane.
Yeah.
Like, we are never going to stop. We're just going to have to keep going.
No, and gun control made it, right? So that's gonna be
Yes.
That's a
be
good
really
point.
expensive.
Yeah.
Um,
I know. It's a lot. All right. Any other group updates before we move on?
Can I ask Caroline to report on the Gleela Thanksgiving service? Please. I was not in attendance.
Sure, I can do that. So very quickly, it went really, really well. There is an audio for it. So if you're want to review it, it was great. It was about the concept of just keeping hope in this time and, moving forward. And the theme was, and yet we will still give thanks. So that's my quick plug.
Nice.
Where is it held?
It was held at the Church of Latter-day Saints on Pawtucket Boulevard.
Princeton Boulevard. Princeton, yeah.
That's what I meant.
Okay, very good.
All right. So moving on to our featured speaker, Tom Raiche, lead organizer of the Merrimack Valley Central Labor Council. He is not only an advocate for labor, he is a staunch advocate for public education. For 21 years, Tom was a member of IAM Local 1726, serving as a chief steward and safety committee chair. He is also former member of the Saugus School Committee and town meeting. In addition to his current post as AFL-CIO Community Services Liaison, Tom is a faculty member of the Labor Guild and serves on the Mass Hire Greater Lowell Workforce Development Board. He recently won the Unsung Hero Award at the 30th anniversary of the UMass Lowell Labor Education. All right, please type your questions in the chat. Take it away, Tom.
Do I stand up?
You can do whatever you want.
All right. My name is Tom Raiche. I'm the lead organizer with the Merrimack Valley Central Labor Council. Let me give you a little backstory. Can you see me?
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me just get rid of this.
That's okay. I grew up in Saugus, active in politics always, and started working for the airlines in '89. I went to Plymouth State up in New Hampshire back in the late '70s. And I started working for Northwest Airlines in 1989, and I've always been active in politics. I was a town meeting member in Saugus. My father was a town clerk in Saugus. And I got active in local town Saugus politics, and then eventually became a school committee member. And I started working for Northwest Airlines in 1989 and working the ramp at Logan Airport. And eventually got active in my union, 1726. And because I was active in politics, I became the political director for local 1726. And that was really good. I got to meet a lot of elected officials. I got very active in DeVal Patrick's campaign. I met him early on when he was running for governor, and I was kind of like a labor liaison with the AFL-CIO back then. And got Democrat of the Year in Saugus in 2006, and became very active in union local machinists. I was with the Machinists Union, International Association of Machinists. Long story short, then back in 2009, Northwest was merging with Delta. And because they were merging with Delta, Northwest was unionized, fully unionized, International Association of Machinists. And Delta was not. So they had to have a vote, and that was a big deal, having an election between all the people, all the employees of Delta and all the employees of Northwest. Now they have merged, and we're going to have one big vote. And at the time, Delta really worked hard to not let the union come in, and they fought us all step of the way. They had a room this size with free donuts in the morning, coffee, free soda and pizza in the afternoon, legal seafood chowder, and this was like ongoing. It was 24/7. It was open, and you went in there, and all along the wall were anti-union posters and videos constantly running about how you don't need a union. We have open door, you know, the whole BS. After it was all over, the flight attendants were going through the same thing. After it was all over, they looked back and they said Delta spent well over $100 million in union avoidance, and they hired, you know, all the anti-labor people. But during that time, I was active. I was the union rep, and I was active, and we had rallies on the airport, and I had Congressman Lynch there. I had Congressman Taney there. And Congressman Capuano, he must have came 3 times for rallies I had. This was back in 2010. And the election was November 2010. And 5,000, I never forget this. I was with drinks when the results came out. 5,000, leading up to the election, Delta hired all these part-time people down in Atlanta to kind of, you know, pad up the votes. And 5,000 voted for the union system-wide. 5,500 voted against. So the union, we lost the union. And to this day, they're still trying to get it back. And it's just an uphill battle. And after that time, I was back now I'm a full Delta employee. And one of my old managers from Northwest come up to me and said, Tom, now that the union's not in here anymore, you have the biggest bullseye on your back at Logan Airport.
And no one to protect you.
No, I know. And I saw it. They could walk you out the door, take your ID, pending investigation. You have no recourse. Wow. Without a union, you have no recourse. They walk you out the door, pending investigation, which means nothing because it's never going to happen. And I saw it happen to numerous people, and a lot of it was just favoritism. So around that time, someone come up to me and says, Tom, there's an opening with the United Way. United Way had a partnership with AFL-CIO doing community work. So there was an opening up here. Carly McLean, who was up here, she left. And I was active in the North Shore Labor Council. I wasn't that familiar with up here. I didn't know Lowell. I was a North Shore guy. Mm-hmm. Outside 128, I heard about it, but, you know, worked at Logan, lived in Saugus, and this opening came up, and I went and got interviewed. I knew Sue Winning, and I knew Drinks. Drinks was on the board of directors for the Merrimack Valley Central Labor Council. Then I come up here and did an interview with Paul Georges and everybody, and that was April of 2011.
Was Nelson on the board then? Nelson?
Nelson, yeah. Nelson.
Did you know him before the?
No.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Nelson Ramsey.
Nelson Ramsey from MVP.
Machinist Union.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I never. Yeah. He knew a lot of the same people, but I never was at a conference with him. Yeah. So I come up here in 2011, and what was exciting about that, and I didn't know, was I remember I met Paul Georges, and he goes, Tom, you realize something big's coming up. I go, what? He goes, it's the 100th year anniversary of the Bread and Roses strike. Oh, like, wow.
2012.
I didn't know anything about that. Yeah. 2012. And Elizabeth Warren was just starting to run against Scott Brown during that whole time. So it was an exciting time. So we come up here. I come up here, moved up here, didn't know a soul. I think I met Paul early on at my first meeting over in Lawrence. And I was excited, you know, to this new venture. I've been working at the airlines for over some 20 years, and it was good to get out of there at that point. And I come up here and got active in the Labor Council. And as far as the Labor Council, I know you want, like, how do we endorse candidates, and there's a whole process. We, like I said, we were very active. Our office on 169 Merrimack Street turned into be Elizabeth Warren's headquarters for the Lowell area. We were doing events all the time for that. She came up like 3 or 4 times for events. We had a big Remember Ramala's boxing ring?
Yes.
When,
Big rally.
Yeah, it was a big deal. And then she had the debate at the Songas with Scott Brown. That was in 2012. So anyway, I'm active in the Labor Council. Still there to this day. We're as far as elections, we always involved. We interview candidates, whether state-run or municipal, and we just
all across
wrapped
the
up.
valley, right?
Yeah, all around. Yeah, so that's another thing. It's not just Lowell.
Yeah.
We're talking about candidates out from Newburyport to Chelmsford. And if they ask for an endorsement and there's a labor connection, like we had some teachers, well, Dawn Shan was another one that she's a state rep out of Newburyport, and we endorsed her. And and Lawrence has always been a big issue. That was a real big issue when Lantigua was the mayor and Dan Rivera, Paul going door to door.
Yeah, we did a lot of calls for
Dan
Rivera.
So it's we got
recount.
So you think about Lowell, Lawrence, and Haverhill. We're active in Haverhill races too. And what we do, we have a whole process. As far as they let us know that they like the endorsement of the Labor Council. Then we give them a questionnaire that they fill out, that we look over the questionnaire, and then we end up meeting them and talking to them and asking them questions on how they feel about certain stuff. Certain issues that are hot topics.
The questionnaire is really about working families and labor issues,
right?
Specifically. So if they have no idea what a project labor agreement is, that's a signal.
Yeah.
Right.
But the other is that when they come in person or on Zoom to be interviewed, all the members in the room can ask questions,
right?
Not just the executive committee.
Kind of fun.
So,
as I said, it was fun. It's
yeah.
Sean
you
can have an idea with most of these groups what they're going to ask. You do the CLC endorsement. It's like, I wonder who's there today.
Yeah.
Yes,
they're from everywhere
because we all come from different. You know what I mean? Like the workers from Raytheon are going to have different questions than the teachers from Amesbury, and you have that type of dynamic going on. And, right. Yeah.
I love the building trade.
The building trade,
like a process question. So when you do the questionnaire, do you have the questionnaire in front of you when you're interviewing them? Like, do you have that ahead of time?
Yeah, we'll have what they already filled out.
Yeah.
So we'll say, you put down that you support charter schools. Do you still support charter schools? And that's a no-no.
Okay.
We call it the C word. You don't bring that up.
The other thing too is the history of the Labor Council. There used to be a Lawrence Labor Council,
right,
and the Lowell Labor Council. And for a time, when they merged, we were alternating meetings between Lowell and Lawrence, and then eventually Lowell became the home of the whole valley.
Right.
So we're fortunate here in Lowell that all the meetings are held at the Lowell teacher's office, and our candidates usually get a chance.
And of course, Zoom has created it a lot more easier for people to be all in the valley all the way out to Amesbury being interviewed.
But the Massachusetts nurses have their candidate that they want to support and have specific questions. The firefighters have specific questions. The teachers unions. So it's a universe of labor all across the valley.
Yeah.
And they all have their pet bills that they're asking specific on. How do you feel about this?
Construction trades.
Yeah, the construction trades. Yeah, wage theft.
All of these things.
Any questions? Did I cover enough?
So what are the big issues in labor right now? Like, what do you think are the topics of most concern?
I want to say wage theft, but we say that all the time.
Healthcare.
Healthcare is incredible.
Yeah.
Wages are constantly fighting against healthcare in labor contracts. Right.
I thought the AFL-CIO's biggest thing right now at the state house, not local, but it's a really good one that everyone should like. I'll get the bill number at some point. I don't have it memorized. They're looking for basically a trigger bill, like what Republicans do, but to do it for like a good reason. And so what they want is the state of Massachusetts to pass a law so that if the federal government does anything to hurt the NLRB, that Massachusetts state law would then kick in and do all of the things that the NLRB does federally within the state of Massachusetts without there being a fun window where the unions don't matter.
That's great.
It's a really
Yeah.
important piece of legislation that I hope gets all the way through.
I'm surprised Progressive Mass didn't flag that one.
Another thing is the Chapter 70 funding formula.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the cities and towns are struggling. Some of the more urban cities like Lowell and Lawrence get a lot of federal funding, but some of the other cities are having a tough time. Amesbury, I know Saugus is too.
This is all education.
All education, that Chapter 70 money, they're not getting the money that should be allotted to them. And
It's to try to address the inequities of taxation in the communities paying for public education, so that your zip code determines whether you have a primary beautiful education or you have crap.
Yeah.
Right.
So tries to correct that. I think what most people don't know about unions, and especially public unions, but private ones as well, is the union is built up of whoever the boss hires.
Right.
The union has no say in who comes into the shop, as it were. So when I was a public school teacher, I came in, I had never been in a union. I went to the first union meeting. They were delighted to see a new face, because so many of the public school teachers, that all they want is, I want my raise on time, but they don't educate themselves about citizen engagement and, you know, how is funding for your classroom impacted by what goes on at the State House and who gets elected to the State House. So it was always, I was editor of the union newsletter, and it was constant. It was an opportunity to do some education, but I could not believe how many were registered Republicans, for example, in public school teaching, because we don't get a say in who gets hired. So you had people who really didn't believe in unionism, but were happy to take the high salaries.
Enjoyed the benefits.
So they had been won by several contracts over many decades. So when I walked in, I had a master's degree. I was on a really high level in the column. So I had a wonderful salary, but it was due to people who came before me and had fought those fights.
Question from Marla, and then we'll go to John. Marla asks, how do you feel about the prospects for unions in the near future? Obviously, the current administration is not going to be supporting unions.
It's so frustrating, and I dealt with this at the airport all the time. Union members voting against their self-interest, and they get caught up in whatever social issue takes the eye off the prize, and they forget. And I have to remind them, guys, you throw bags for a living. You don't vote Republican. An old Eastern employee told me, God rest his soul, Charlie Cambria, if you make an hourly wage, you do not vote Republican. It's that simple. And you can dance around it all you want, but it's that simple. If you was a Tom, you've never voted Republican in your life? I said, no.
No, why would
I don't belong to a country club. Maybe if I belonged to Vespa, I'd vote Republican, but I'm not. I'm a working slob. I mean, and nobody cares about working slobs until you elect a candidate that specifically says, I realize the people that work. And Bob Ferrand said it, the professor at UMass Lowell, you know, what about the workers? You know, when something opens up, all the big shots are out there cutting the ribbon, but the guys who actually did the brick and mortar aren't there. And it's like, who respects them? Or who looks at them or cares about their interests?
Tom, you remember when we put together a banner for the Labor Council, and the subhead was Fighting for Working Families. And if you're a working family, if you work to make a salary or an hourly wage, that's what unionism is about. Because basically, the working class needs a union. They need a voice in the workplace, because management has all the cards. Otherwise, nobody's going to stand up against the power of corporate ownership, except a union. It's the only balance.
Let's go to John. John, you're muted.
Come on, John.
I'll make 2 points. One is, with respect to what the Labor Council does, in addition to politics, it also supports workers who are having struggles with their employers. and the Labor Council and has done a lot of work to support, for example, the LTC workers, but also the workers at the hospitals in the Merrimack Valley that have had a number of strikes over the last year or two. And back when my local was on strike back in 2014, and after that, several times when we were on strike in the Valley, the Labor Council would organize other workers to come out and support it. But the second thing I wanted to say, if I could, is to answer Marla's question in the chat, which is the prospects, the percentage of workers in unions has decreased for years. The reason the Merrimack Valley Labor Council covers the whole Merrimack Valley, we no longer have a Lawrence or Haverhill Labor Councils because there's fewer workers in unions, and that's true all across the country. The biggest challenge is turning that around, and I think there are some things that are helping us turn that around right now. One is, it's all because of bad things and people getting mad at them. Income inequality has gotten a lot worse. The average, after when COVID happened, everybody understood what Tom and Paul were saying, which is, we know your company's not going to care about you when the chips are down. And strikes have become a lot more popular, for example, than they used to be. When I started out in the 1980s and 90s being a union activist, everybody was scared of going on strike because we were getting the crap beat out of us in strikes all across the country. But that's not happening as much now. It's a much more popular weapon. Unions have to get their members organized. They have to organize, I should say, have to organize our members. As Paul was talking about, it's frustrating when members don't get it, but just telling them, as I'm sure Paul and Tom are very well aware, just telling them they don't get it is not going to solve the problem. We have to help people get organized and show them that their self-interest is not in what Donald Trump is doing, as many workers believed, and many still believe, I'm sure, but that their self-interest is something else, is a different kind of society, government doing different things. The Democrats, in my personal opinion, haven't done a great job of that either, but that's really the challenge that's facing us. In addition to that, I'll stop after this, or you can just shut me off.
That's fine.
Work has changed a lot. The structures that unions have, you've heard of local unions and union meetings and things like that. You can't do that if all the workers work independently all across the country. You can't get them all together. You have to, if you're an adjunct faculty member, if you work in a university by yourself, or you do childcare in your own home, you don't even meet any of your coworkers. So the structure of work has changed quite a bit. You know the expression working days as opposed to calendar days? Like if you're doing something legal and they say so many working days, it doesn't count Saturdays and Sundays. And I always laugh when I tell my members about that because they all work 7 days a week. Every day is a working day, but we still have some old-fashioned concepts and structures that need to be changed to match the way the work has changed. If we can do that, if we can get people to realize that the only thing that brought us what we got, as Paul mentioned, the salary he was able to get when he started, is because workers organized and actually disrupted, struck, and pressured employers who were keeping all the money. And I think people are starting to be more open to that kind of concept. If we can let people know that, then we'll get somewhere.
John touched on a point that when they were closing, trying to close the hospitals, the Holy Family hospitals in Haverhill and Methuen, we had the MNA put together a rally and MVP, and we put the word out to all our union members. And IBEW Raytheon workers 1505 showed up with 40 board guys and girls. 40 people showed up in support, along with nurses. Lawrence teachers were there. Paul was there with MVP. And it was just, the solidarity is powerful when all the different unions get together, all different professions working together, and it's a force.
And management can no longer say if this is an internal matter.
Right.
No, I want to add to what John's been saying about the changes over time. When I was editing our newsletter, I decided to do some research about what are the biggest unions in America. And it used to be the private sector. It was the auto workers, the United Mine Workers, the coal, steel workers were the big unions. And the Teamsters were at the top.
Yeah.
Now, you know what the largest union is across America? Is the American Federation of Teachers. So public sector unions have changed the picture of unionism. And John's SEIU are reaching now. Keyword is going to try to reach the members through emails or phones or whatever.
Sorry, folks. We just had a weird thing happen with our Zoom cart. Like I said, we are annoyed with it and are looking forward to potentially having a new location soon. But we're going to keep going online here. Unfortunately, my laptop doesn't have a camera, but Amy's going to take a look at the Zoom cart and hopefully we'll get that back up and going. But we can continue our discussion. I just wanted you to know what was going on.
But as far as unions being and labor being active in political causes, it's just common sense. I mean, we need it and we have to have this. Of course, I've talked a lot about Frances Perkins.
Yeah.
And how all the stuff that she pushed through in the 30s is so relevant today. And they're trying to undo it. It's like they're trying to undo the New Deal, and they've been planning this for decades. Sean, you want to...
I was going to say, to build off a little bit of some of the discussion, sorry, the screen going out kind of scrambled eggs to my brain for a second.
Right.
Back. No, that's my own fault. Union membership is declining, not looking great. I do think in a group like this, it's important to acknowledge like what people with the kinds of politics that show up to a Solidarity Lowell meeting could do maybe to help that, because a fairly common sentiment in newer kind of progressive circles can be that building trades don't tell drinks. I know it's recorded. That building trades kind of the loudest members of certain building trades become like this like mascot for like unions at large, and then people start saying, oh well, the unions aren't progressive and they're not.
Republican convention last.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I think what happens is that this is partially Clinton's triangulation coming home to roost, and partially what happens when it starts to lean that way, and then you have groups go, yeah, F them, and then they say, oh, okay, and then they keep going, and I would personally not really want to have building trades picketing me. See that, right? Yeah. But I think from groups like this, and then as the union, as the AFL-CIO continues to try and pull some of the more reluctant membership along for the ride, I think looking at some of the really good progressive social policy coming out of the AFL-CIO and the AFP and other subsidiary unions is important. The recent one, I didn't go because it was in the middle of the campaign, but the AFTMA sent up somebody to do a training at one of the middle schools after school on like immigrant rights and resisting ICE. AFL-CIO has sponsored several immigration workshops, and then some other social justice workshops as well that they're running for free for union members to try and do that education for membership, and they're organizing around the last delegate meeting that I went to. The Boston Labor Council was talking about building some organization around getting like resistance to ICE in the workplace, right. And not letting ICE into the shop, and so like I just so often I feel like that all of that good stuff can get missed in circles, not necessarily like this, but there are dozens and thousands of these meetings. And I've had conversations with people, and I know I've told you about them, where it's like you talk about the unions, like, oh, well, the union. It's like, what do you mean the unions are Republican? Unions are not Republican. What are you talking about?
There are Republican members.
They're a mix.
But they are. But if we want people my age and younger to be signing union cards, I think it's important that they feel, if they're already politically engaged in spaces like this, or college Democrats, that when they leave college or high school or whatever, that they know actually that I should, if the salt comes in and I'm at Starbucks, I should sign the card, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why I wanted to do this was because, well, and Brian Oates, I think, was the first one who brought it up, but I agreed with him that I thought it was important because it is so tricky during election seasons when we find out, oh, well, this union went to this conservative person and this union went to this conservative person. And it's like, but unions are good. I don't understand. But once you dig into it, you realize, okay, well, it's the person, whoever is the boss is hiring these people. And if they want to hire only Republicans, then yeah, of course it's going to go to Republicans. So, and I'm sure there's rules that they're not supposed to do that, but they ignore them.
I mean, the feeling, people want unions. They do surveys all the time, and it's like 65% of the people. Well, if that's the case, how come union membership is down? The vindictiveness and viciousness of these corporations. When we were going through that training on that organizing drive with the election between Delta and Northwest, all the managers flew out to Atlanta and learned how to suppress the union people. People knew I was the union rep. I had the biggest bullseye on me. Guys that would talk to me, managers would rat me out and say, I saw Jose talking to Tom. The next day, Jose would be working extra flights at Logan Airport because he was caught talking to Tom. They were that vindictive. And I'd walk up to Jose the next day and talk, get away from me.
Yeah, I can't talk.
Yesterday sucked to you, get away.
Just want to make sure you guys can hear us.
They said yes.
Okay, good. Okay.
What's the question?
I want to talk about the perception of unions is that they're only out for their members and they're only out for increasing wages and benefits for their members. And that was put to a lie under Richard Trump government, of happy memory, who's deceased now. But he made the point of unionism is for all workers. When unions do well, all workers do well because it lifts the wage level and the benefits level.
A rising tide lifts all boats.
Yes.
But it was a real eye-opener to hear him speak in such broad terms and strong terms nationally. And I know Tom and I had the conversation, we picked it up because he was saying, if your union is in the community, you've got to find your allies. You've got to find the churches, faith groups, the community organizations, and work with them because the perception is we have to be seen. We're on the side of all working people. Everybody who's making a wage, an hourly wage, you belong.
I remember asking a nurse, an MNA nurse. I said, Mass General's not union. Brigham and Women's isn't union. How come they're not union? And they go, it's real simple. Tufts is union. And whatever Tufts gets for benefits and pay, the other hospitals match it. So talk about a rising tide lifts all boats. So because
the
Tufts is
unions out of
union,
the
it
other
gets great benefits and great pay. Mass General matches it. Brigham and Women's matches it. They all match.
They don't want to lose their people.
Because if they don't, then there's going to be a union organizing. Say, hey, how come we can't get what Tufts get? Okay.
John, then Mitch. John, you're muted.
Sorry. I closed the raise hand feature. I think that's all I have to do.
This is the quietest I've ever saw John.
I know.
Oh, yeah, I remember before.
That's a good point.
To the point that Tom made about Mass General and Brigham and Women's, those kind of nonprofit agencies, which they are technically, fight unions just as hard as Delta Airlines. Yeah. So that's another reason for that. But the point I wanted to make was to your point, Marissa, about why unions endorse people that are not the most progressive. And there's a number of reasons, and it depends on the situation. But one big problem that unions that represent people who are whose business, the unions of people who work in either the public sector or that are significantly publicly funded, which includes building trades, and many unions that whose projects require public funding or get public funding. If a politician supports that funding when the union asks them to, it is very difficult for the union to come out against that politician. And so you don't have to be a progressive to say, yeah, let's build this project, right. Or yeah, we should try to get more money for schools, or yeah, let me try to get these workers' contracts funded. You could just be a garden variety politician who's like, my job is to bring the bacon home from my neighborhood, and if I do that, I'm good. And then you could be, against all the immigrant rights and all other things. So that creates a dilemma for organizations like unions. It's really difficult to tell people that we're not going to support you after you did what we asked you to do. That's just a hard thing to do. So that's one of the reasons.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I was just going to mention, because I've worked for both an open shop pipe fitting company and a 537 affiliated piping company. And, there is to echo some of the earlier comments, the existence of the union shops certainly influenced the company that wasn't, to provide a bare minimum, so that you can at least compete in the workspace against that. So yeah, I was just going to mention that. I also, just because I know I wanted to correct something I said earlier, so but I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
Another thing, well, go ahead.
Oh, I was just to go one step further from where we left off earlier, then we fixed the computer again, and I had to think about that, and I was also rebooting with the computer when it got fixed. Is things that I think groups like this and the many of these groups that exist, and I hope there are more of them, but also that they work together. But that they can do, I think, locally. So the national issue, I think, around making sure that we all remember that even though sometimes unions are going to back the likely winner because they want to win, I get it. In addition to that, local action steps to protect our union numbers and also the strength of the union is when you have cities, towns, nonprofits like universities. I'm thinking specifically like institutionally big ones that look to privatize maybe a specific shift or a specific part of their operation. Cafeteria workers are, so UMass Law, I remember, I'm really glad that nobody has long memories. This is recorded. Somebody can look it up later and tell them all. In 2017, the adjunct faculty at UMass Lowell were going through a big one. I accidentally became the student speaker because two other students had dipped out, and it's a lucky day for the adjunct faculty union. Yeah. I think I called Marty Meehan. No, I did call Marty Meehan corporate parasite. I did. It's in the Lowell Sun. I looked back and I was like, oh my God. Yes. And the Lowell Sun printed it. So here I am. So, and now I'm going to sit next to Rita Mercier on the city council. So, but
we're
anyway,
happy you're there.
Everyone's a great person. On the record. However, even great people look to save a buck, and this is true of Democrats as much as it's true of Republicans. My problem with Democrats is that when the Democrats do it, like Marty Meehan, Tom Bolton, they're very good at speaking in a certain way that just really makes it sound like it's a managerial inevitability, and the experts have consulted, and we do feel so bad about it.
Yeah.
We do feel so bad. We are taking their health insurance. Yeah, and we're also firing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it had to happen.
And it had to happen. There's no other way. This is just what it is. You know, I
doing
know.
your research, but there's no other way.
No, there's no other way. This is the only thing we could do. We cannot pay the adjuncts. We need the cafeteria workers out of the union. I hope they don't do another union drive. I don't know they did. We can't have a second shift of whatever. We can't have I think on the local level, I think the Labor Council is going to do a good job. I think these cuts are coming. Just kind of looking at the crystal ball here and how money gets cut. And when money gets cut, this is how the city responds. It's how the schools respond. It's how the universities respond. I think the Labor Council is almost certainly going to ring the bell as soon as they know any of these
There's a
things
rumor
happen.
right now that they're trying to privatize the custodians in
Thank you
Lowell
for saying it
schools.
for me.
All the public schools of Lowell.
Second shift.
Yeah.
Second shift.
The
Yeah.
bus drivers are a target too.
And I'm sure they get paid a whole ton already.
Paraprofessionals.
They get health insurance on pension.
Oh my God.
And
I know,
and
right?
so- but I think groups like this in the activist Discord, and you guys are really good at getting people to show up, and unions are also very good at getting people to show up. And I think trying to get some more collaboration, and it's not going to be on every issue. It can't be on every issue.
Oh, but that's why I put together the Discord. I'm like, we're all working mostly for the same things. Like, we should be communicating more. And that's why I it's in every newsletter. It's in every meeting. I do my plug, and I know nobody wants a new thing that they have to check, but it's free and it's easy.
And there's quite a few new people in there that weren't members of any organization, but just individuals or representing organizations that were previously not connected to us. So I think it's working.
So all I was going to ask was, support in protecting union jobs when the very nice good people come to town with the hatchets. I had a job interview with what's his name? Hatchet person. It was miserable. I clicked out. It was a Zoom interview for a school in Lawrence, and the woman interviewing me was Jeff Riley. That was Jeff Riley's hatchet lady, who
really?
fired she went in and she just fired everyone. And I didn't put it together right away. And then the interview kept going. And this woman's very off-putting. And I just kind of looked at her. I have to go. It's like, I don't want to work for you. So there's that piece. And then also supporting union drives, especially in our local nonprofits like at LTC and anywhere else. I think, especially in Lowell, where so many of our social services are not provided by the city, they are instead provided by this kind of large coalition of nonprofits, which is fine, but most of the people who work there also live in Lowell. And so I think if they're looking to unionize, I think good for them. Everyone should have a union.
No, I mean, I think for the most part, we've always, when we've heard about anything, but now that I'm on the board of MVP and I'm talking to Paul and Tom all the time, and John would obviously tell me too, if there's anything that we need to know about and promote, like we do our best. But, it has been a little disappointing with some of the endorsements, but, usually I'm just like, Tom, what happened? He explains it to me and I'm like, oh, okay.
If you consistently bring up the PLA, you kind of have to get it. But
were you going to say something, Joe?
No, with PLA.
Project Labor.
I know.
No, I don't know. It's just like
Everyone else
right
knows.
out what it
Because
is.
I said that once the drinks, and I was thinking, what about a PLA? John Grossman said a PLA is a project labor agreement.
Yeah.
And that was a big issue with the Rourke Bridge. Is that going to be a project labor agreement?
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't forget Lowell High School.
And the high school.
Oh, the clown. Those were great flyers. So they weren't. I'm on the record. I'm elected, but boy, those were hilarious.
I've heard horror stories when I was teaching of, contractors coming in, replacing a carpet in a classroom, and the adhesive failed and it smelled bad and all of this. So public buildings like that, where your community's children are there every day, and you've got mold and you've got all these other problems because you didn't hire quality people.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to just add about there is a bit of a light in the future, I think, in that organizers now are looking at folks like Starbucks and trying to organize those kinds of folks because they know they're getting a shaft of a deal, you know, with hourly workers, and you don't even get a schedule. You have to be on call 24/7 whenever they want to fill you in. And if they business is slow, they send you home, and you know you get. My sister works at BJ.
You told me that story. That bothers me so much.
Wholesale. You know, she has to be available all the time to come in. She has no idea what her schedule.
What if you have daycare issues?
They don't pay her when she's on call. Oh my God, that's insane.
Or every week they'll get a different schedule.
Yeah, there's no consistency to it. So
someone I know is a photographer, and I have been pointing out a number of things that his company pulls that are not right, and that's one of them.
Someone I know has been server in various restaurants for many, many years, and basically the same thing. She never knew from one day to the next as to
what her schedule
was. She could be called in at any given time and so forth. Same model.
But at least they used to guarantee, you know, you'd only get 35 hours, which was the threshold under which you won't get any benefits, you know, right? But now you don't even guarantee the 35 hours. If it's a slow week, they send you home. You work for 3 hours, you got dressed, you got on, you know, into the restaurant or whatever.
And the thing that always bothers all of us, we all know this, Walmart and McDonald's have so many employees that qualify for public assistance.
Yeah.
And it's just wrong.
Okay, since I'm the timekeeper, much as I would love to discuss
could talk all day.
Sean, if you want to say your last point quickly.
The only thing I was going to say, and it was 3 seconds, is there is a lot of nostalgia for like industrial jobs. We're going to bring the manufacturing back and whatever. And you hear it locally where suddenly, right? But people don't miss the factories.
No.
And there was nothing dignified about pulling a lever or sewing or whatever.
Coal mine.
Exactly.
Or in the coal mine. The thing that gave those jobs like dignity in what all work is dignity, not dignity. That let people afford to live off of those jobs wasn't the job, it was the union. Right.
Good
Yeah.
point.
Exactly.
So you can have a union in any job and suddenly you might have a much better job.
Yeah. Well, thank you all of you for Tom especially, but also Sean and Paul and John. All right, so friendly reminder, our next December, we have no meeting. We have the holiday party, so please come. And again, RSVP, the link is there, and bring stuff for the unhoused population. Our next regular meeting will be on January 25th at 5:30, probably hybrid unless there's like massive COVID or something. And that'll be maybe here or maybe at LTC, we'll see, and on Zoom. And you can always join us online. We have a Facebook page and a group. The difference is the Facebook page is public, but there's no discussion. You will see our events, but not the members only events. So like you would miss out on the holiday party. The Facebook group has all of the things, including the discussion. And you can participate and chat with everybody. You can visit our website, solidaritylowell.com, and follow us on all of the social medias, Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, Threads, etc., and watch meetings on YouTube. Thank you so much for attending, and we will see you next time. Have a good Thanksgiving.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
You getting it?
Making sure you remember.